Thank you, sir. I'm pleased to have the opportunity to discuss a number of traffic issues along St Bernard's Road and Newton Road and Penfold Road that borders my electorate and the electorate of Vincent Tardsey, the member for Hartley. These are issues in many cases which the member for Hartley and I have raised with this House on a number of occasions. The basis of the issue goes back 12 years to a road management plan that was undertaken by the Department for Transport and through 2010 and 2011, completed in 2011, that made a range of recommendations about improved treatments to this very, very busy road with indeed many challenges for pedestrians and commuters alike. Amongst those recommendations was a signalled intersection on the corner of St Bernard's Road and Reed Avenue, a matter for which the member for Hartley and I have been fighting and encouraging transport ministers to implement for the better part of a decade. Indeed, I bring to the House's attention the East Torrens Messenger, as then was, of the 13th of August 2014, in which I highlighted at that time that I had asked the state government to have a serious look at this intersection. The government completed a draft road management plan in October 2011. St Bernard's Road was identified as an area needing attention, but the government is still yet to implement any of the suggestions. That's what I said in 2014. And at the time, and I pay credit indeed to the Chemmart operator Colleen Devitt, who started a petition, which I have a copy of it for the House today, with hundreds and hundreds of signatures from people living in both my electorate and in particular in the suburb of Hectorville in the member for Hartley's electorate. And I know the member for Hartley at the time encouraged people to sign that petition, urging the government to undertake works. There was no satisfactory response in 2014. In 2015, I undertook a survey of people in my electorate and the member for Hartley in his, and we had hundreds of responses, with more than 75% support for an installation of a short right turn lane into Reed Avenue, and indeed, when asked about whether they wanted traffic lights or a wider pedestrian refuge or no change at the intersection, traffic lights were supported by, again, over 80% of residents in Morialta, and I think Hartley's results were similar. I provided that advice to the then Minister for Transport, Stephen Mulligan, now Treasurer. He forwarded it to the then Minister for Road Safety, now Premier, Peter Malinauskas, and the computer said no. The Premier, as was then the Minister for Road Safety, said that that was not at the threshold to justify the expense of what he indicated at the time was $1.6 million, and so the government wouldn't be proceeding unless it was able to get funding from the Commonwealth. In 2019, we tried again with the new minister, the Honourable Stephen Knoll, and at that time, unfortunately again, and I'm sad that this happened under the former Liberal government, but he indicated, in regards to the intersection of Reed Avenue and St Bernard's Road, I'm advised that this section has been assessed and detailed in the RMP. As part of the RMP investigation, a study has been undertaken, and I'm paraphrasing here. The study determined there was not an adequate increase to warrant the installation of a dedicated PAC or traffic signals. A pedestrian survey was also undertaken by the Department in September 2018, confirming the location doesn't warrant. He did say, however, any proposal to make upgrades to transport infrastructure at this location as part of the RMP would also look at upgrading the pedestrian walk-through at this location. Further correspondence and meetings with the member for Hartley and I and the Minister for Transport at the time didn't get the final outcome then, but obviously that work that the former Minister Knoll identified of how they were looking for opportunities has now seen some good outcome, and I'm pleased that after a decade of endeavours, we understand that that project is now funded in the coming year, and I'm pleased about that. However, there are many more, and the last time I spoke to this House about transport issues along St Bernard's Road and Penfold Road in particular, I highlighted the enormous new development numbers, the enormity of the growth in student numbers at Morialta Secondary College, 170 this year, 1,200 within the next 5 years. The changes due to McGill Village, the developments at Woodford, and indeed the seminary development in Ross Trevor, and the significant increasing traffic problems that this whole stretch of road is seeing. I argued then that the government needed to pay attention to this to deliver improvements, and I've now received correspondence from the Honourable Tom Coutts-Antonis, the Transport Minister, confirming that unfortunately the department will not be proceeding with either the indented bus stop outside the college, nor indeed are they interested in in improvements to Norton Summit Road and McGill Road. We hope that further work will be undertaken by the department. I urge the Minister to insist on further work by the department to improve these intersections and this cause of road, which are currently a mess.